Get ready. It's time. Christina, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
I had to sneeze and then it went away, so I was like,
Welcome back to
the Cimorelli podcast.
Ooh, girl.
Oh.
Speedy.
I don't know, just need to
That
get through
sounded
it.
like it was in like 2x speed.
The Cimorelli podcast.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Well, you got something to say?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
I was just going to say that I had to sneeze.
Oh,
And it went
okay.
away.
Well, welcome back, ladies and the two gentlemen who are watching. I think we're like, 80, 90% female. Hello, welcome.
Lads and lasses.
Welcome back. Hello, Patreon. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's your episode that people on YouTube will never see. So, guys, this one's more themed around New Year's. And we're going to do like a year in review kind of best and worst moments. So, get ready. I'm really excited.
It's time.
But first, we always start with
What we had
What
for
did you
breakfast.
the breakfast.
Well,
now when I make my breakfast, I'm like, oh, what are they going to say about this one?
What? And we always say that it's fancy. What's so bad about that?
Because I'm starting to realize
You're the episode of The Office where he starts a rumor about everyone, and they're like, Michael, you didn't have a rumor about you. And he's like, yeah, I did. Someone started a rumor that I was a J. Crew model. Like, that's a good rumor. Models have a reputation of being vapid.
I don't know how that fits, but okay.
They're going to
All
say
right.
it's fancy.
You can start.
All right, I always go first on this segment. So this morning I was treated to a lovely breakfast. A little late, so I was hungry, but it was still really good. It was a sausage. Oh, my hair stuck in my earring. It was a sausage, egg, cheddar on a biscuit sandwich.
Wait, that's good. Love that.
And it's like massive. It was not like
girl.
a McDonald's, Starbucks one. It was like, whoa. It was really good.
Okay. So mine.
It was good.
See, now I'm like, I should say the details because then it gives you more zhuzh.
What are
Well,
they?
go for
what?
it.
Well, I could say I had pancakes, or I could say I had whole wheat Greek yogurt pancakes with berries and
gosh.
shaved almonds on top.
That's a very
what I
different
had.
breakfast than just pancakes.
That is
yes.
what I had, and it was delish.
That
Wait,
is
you
the
put
most.
Greek yogurt on them?
Or
in
in
them.
them.
Oh.
To
Wait,
give them more
it-
protein?
The fluff?
Yes, and it makes them taste so good.
Really?
What does it
Like
taste
fluff.
like?
Right?
With organic grass-fed butter, it just I don't know how to
Butter
explain it.
ate grass.
I know. I always think about that when they put that before things that are not an animal.
They're like, this mop is gluten free.
Yeah,
They
yes.
literally say that. It's a
They
vegan
literally
mop.
do.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's a tip. It's really good. If you just search like Greek yogurt pancakes, there's one recipe I did with Greek yogurt and lemon in it, and it was so
Yum.
It wasn't like a lemon pancake. It just added a little zhuzh.
This is news to me.
Is that like buttermilk pancakes kind of vibe? Because Greek yogurt's kind of sour.
The vinegar.
No.
No, but interesting observation.
I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
I was on the go this morning, so I only had a half a bagel with
Girl.
some jam and some coffee.
You're really into
the bagels. Jinx, you owe me.
I do
nothing.
like
nothing.
bagels. It's good carbs, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, Laura's trying to get those carbs because
Well,
she's too low
So
carb.
wild. As someone who has a
True
problem
story.
not eating enough carbs, who is she?
That's me.
Can't relate. I know none of you know what I had. I definitely did not have avocado and goat cheese toast with eggs. Again.
Okay.
Wow,
Day after day.
loving it.
Wow.
Okay, so guys,
I'm committed.
for our four perspectives,
Our four pops.
our question is, man, I literally had this. I'm not exaggerating. This is the amount of coffee I had, this much, and I'm like,
Dude, I am too, but I have more coffee than that.
I'm really annoyed. Okay, anyway,
You guys are wild.
our thing this morning is best or worst New Year's experience ever.
Okay. I'm not
Who wants to go
starting.
first?
It's
Not
share
me,
one of
I
your
need to
best
think.
or share one of your worst.
So many to choose from.
Oh my
actually, I have
gosh.
a couple that I loved. That's a TV show. He's like, would you like to go on a date with me?
What on earth?
What? Oh, I
It's
can't.
New Girl. And she does it for like 30 seconds.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Just keeps going.
With this.
That's me thinking about New Year's. So
Okay.
Let's see. Actually, I can't talk. I'm going to take this off because it's a little warm for this winter's day. It's not very wintry in here.
It's literally
is
not
it?
winter outside either, though.
It is. It's raining and it's freezing.
Freezing.
Okay.
Girl.
Anyway.
All right. You know what? Okay. I have like one that was the most epic New Year's ever, where it was like, whoa! I stayed up till like 8 a.m. It was crazy. Someone got thrown through a window, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there for that.
Scary.
What? Sorry. Stop screaming. But that one was like I was 17, and it was like. Okay, I mean, it was just the night just kept going from location to location. I ended up at my friend's house, and we were supposed to be like, oh, we're having like an 8-person sleepover with all the girls, and then her older sister had all her friends over too, so it was like 40 people or something, and it was really fun. It was like a chill party part 2, whatever. That was really fun. But actually, I'm gonna tell the story of what was it, 2016 into 17, or 17 and 16 and 17. My friend Warren came into town. So fun having him here for like a week, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And we just went out onto Broadway, which was really fun. It was a lot of people, but we just like danced the night away with a few of our friends, and I got to like show him around. It was so much fun. Just like
He is so fun.
because I always wanted to be like out on New Year's and in Nashville. And the year before we went to the big like downtown thing with all the people, but it was like a lot, and I didn't have any friends here at that point, so it was kind of like you're in this big crowd of people, but you feel so alone.
Yeah, I feel
It was
that.
just like but the next year was really fun because I had my dear friend, and
Aw.
it was just really fun. It was actually a really wholesome time. Dancing the night away, and then I think at midnight we kissed each other on the cheek, which was really funny. Lord,
I love
Happy New Year! Yeah, it was great though.
Lauren says nope.
I think we
A
stayed up till like
giant no.
4.
Good for you.
You gotta stay up late while you're young, guys, because eventually you won't be able to anymore.
I can't anymore already.
Wow.
I can't.
Well, good for you.
I can maybe once in a while, but not really.
Yeah, you could if you really like.
It just
into it.
ruins my
back
whole
into it.
day the
It
next
does.
day. Ugh,
It
so
does. It has
bad.
to be worth sacrificing a day for.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I stayed up late ever, which is not that many times, the next day I say, never drinking again. I've never drank, but I would assume it feels not even close to that bad. But I felt so bad, I was like, ugh. So that's what I say every time I wake
Literally.
up. I'm never drinking again. When do you guys want to go?
Okay. I don't have a best New Year's.
You have a worst?
I do have a worst.
Oh.
I don't know how old I was. I was young, too young to be able to like do anything or go out. I was probably like 14. I don't know. We still lived in Malibu, so
Wait, I think I know what
14
you're talking
or 15.
about.
You were not there.
Oh, fine.
So I recall that it was New Year's and like we watched like the New York, the ball drop thing.
At 9
At
p.m.
9
boring.
p.m. with
Do
my
not watch
parents
the ball drop.
in their room, and we're like, "Ooh, Happy New Year's!" And they're like,
It's
"Hey, go
not
to
New
bed,
Year yet.
kids." I'm like, "I'm 14. We're going to bed at 9 p.m., Mom."
Yeah, Mom.
So I was really sad because I wasn't like old and couldn't like go out like Lisa and all her wild times. Okay, she was probably out partying the night away at this point. Literally, you
Listening to
probably were.
Kesha.
And so I just laid in my bed and I wrote in my journal about how horrible my life was and how I wish I could have fun. And I talked,
Oh my God.
and I talked to people that were catfishing as celebrities on Facebook. I don't know if you
Did you believe
remember.
that they were real?
Okay, maybe I was 13 or 12 actually at this time. I was like, maybe they're real. I don't know.
19.
Were you?
No.
She was 20.
But I don't know if any of you guys remember this time or if you never had this time where there was like, oh, it's their secret Facebook of some like
Lauren, people
celeb.
still believe that.
Okay, well,
It's her
that-
Finsta.
Okay, well, that
No.
was me trying to find all these secret celebs and trying to talk to them on Facebook.
There was like Nick Sanaj, which is Jonas backwards.
Yeah.
Or Miley Cyrus allegedly was radio station. RADIOH. It's like,
so,
was it?
Yeah, that was what I did.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did you say to them?
I don't know. I probably didn't say that much.
Hey, I'm having a really rough night.
I did not say that.
Hey, Nick. Who did you message?
I don't remember. I don't think I
know.
messaged them.
Cody Simpson. Yeah.
Probably.
Definitely.
I don't think I talked to them that much. I was probably just like, hey, how are you? What are you doing tonight? Like, that kind of
Wanna
stuff.
come
I
over?
was more just trying to, comb the pages to see like, oh, is this real or not,
Trying to suss out the six.
Yeah.
One of them replied to me once. I was like, is this him? It wasn't. I mean, I can't confirm that, but I definitely can't confirm that it was.
Yeah.
Are you
Probably
gonna go?
wasn't.
I hate New Year's Eve. I hate it. Because
So you have a worst one than I feel?
they're just always so because I've never somehow I know so many people and yet I never know anyone who's having like a New Year's party or anything. Why? Tell me why. I don't know. So I never get to go anywhere. I never get to like get dressed in a fun fit. And so I always just
Why
end
don't you
up
do your
staying
own?
at home
I
and
really
doing
wanna
something
hook you up
boring. And like, well, I have gone downtown
She
a few
needs to plan
times.
something.
And that was really fun. One year
We went. I wore
I
black
had
lipstick.
bright red hair and I wore a fake nose ring. It was fun. I wanted to be all rebellious.
This is what I'm talking
You
about.
wanted to feel
Wear the fake nose
Yeah.
ring while you're young.
Yeah, I had
I mean, really, any
black
age you can.
eyeshadow, and I was like, I am like edgy, even though I've never been edgy for a moment.
Okay, but
were.
I don't believe
It's just a protection mechanism.
I don't believe in going out on New Year's though because there's so many drunk drivers.
Okay, true.
I don't believe
That's
no,
what
no,
I
no.
was gonna talk
You
about.
have to sleep
don't-
over,
Yeah,
and just don't drive.
Don't drive after
You don't
midnight.
have
It's
to
a
drive.
horrible
It's like
idea.
we've had some friends over sometimes, but it's just
Don't
kind of
drive
like
before midnight.
it's only a few people, and then you're just kind of like underwhelmed. And then you're
Yeah,
like,
it's just not that fun.
Last year I watched High School Musical though, and that was kind of fun.
You know what would be randomly
Yeah.
fun? If you just got a hotel room and hung out there.
Wait,
Wouldn't that be fun?
If you
yeah,
plan
guys,
with your
please
friends.
do that.
like in the
That would
city.
be
Oh,
fun.
Yes, go.
And then you see like
Guys,
fireworks.
You can get
Ooh.
there early. You
Yes.
can walk places.
Wait, can we set off
Yeah.
fireworks this year
on.
though?
We
Let's set
should.
off some fireworks, bro.
should.
I'm cool, Mom.
Wait, but now I feel like I might know. Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, I hate it. Would list it, but I want to love it. Here's what I've said since I was a child. When I am old and I have a family and like a large house that I would like to have, I don't really mean large, but like a house
Big
that I
enough.
can entertain at. I want to have a giant New Year's party.
Oh,
And I
you
want to have
should.
my kids have all their friends. I want to have my whole family there. Like I want to have like 1 million people. So it's fun, and Daddy's not going to take T-Bird away.
Oh, my 7-year-old New Year's, 1999 into 2000.
Yes!
Like
Yes!
200 people
I
at
remember
the Mansour's
that.
house.
Yes, that was fun.
Boom. That was a really
That's what we should
fun
do for the
year.
future.
Yeah,
That was
baby.
so fun.
That
I
will
don't
go
remember
down
that.
in history.
Let's
2 years
start
old.
throwing New Year's
I still
parties as
remember
a
that.
family.
That
Come
was
on.
iconic. They had
It's
like
just the
arcade
driving
games.
situation.
We don't have to
Yeah.
drive.
They had snacks.
We'll
Other
figure it
people.
out.
Okay, that's what I was. Okay, I was
Look, we
thinking
can
about.
end it at like 10 p.m. before the
Yeah.
drunk drivers are out.
I mean, I don't. Yeah,
Hotel, you
I don't
are
know.
right. Go
Look,
hang out
it's
in
a good
hotel.
idea.
Come on.
Okay,
it's so
good
fun.
idea.
I'll think
I was
about
thinking about New Year's, and I was trying to go back.
You probably have a bunch of Nick's
Trying to go
birthday.
back in the albums of my
Oh,
mind.
yeah.
You always like
Well, yeah, I was
celebrate his
thinking.
V-Day.
Well, no, I'm saying I was thinking of the history of New Year's, and I remembered
There's so many good
what
ones.
you
Can't
said.
remember.
No, I remembered how I've been traumatized because from day one, Dad's like,
Oh, yeah.
never, ever drive on New Year's Eve. So our dad's like one of the most paranoid people you'll ever meet.
He might
Ever.
be the most.
He still tells me at 31, he's like, big step, Christina, big step.
Everyone, watch
If
out for
there's
this
something
cord.
to walk,
Watch out for
fall
this
over.
cord. You're gonna trip. Everyone,
Big
sit
step.
right here.
Which is weird because he's like one of the biggest risk takers you'll ever meet.
but
So-
not with his.
So I have been brainwashed from day one in a good, I guess it's a good brainwash.
Yeah.
Of like, do not ever drive anywhere, ever on New Year's Eve. So as a child, I was like, New Year's Eve is really,
And also
really
late at
scary
night, too,
time.
he would say that, too.
You should never drive anywhere, which is a good idea. So I never went anywhere ever. We were not allowed to go anywhere. My whole teen years, we were not allowed to go anywhere New Year's at all. Nope.
Never.
But somehow I'm pretty sure Michael went somewhere every New Year's. So
Oh, yes,
tell me how
sure he
that
did.
works out.
Yes, he did.
So, but I did not. So I would just stay home and like the whole high school years, I would just watch a movie. But then I was like,
Didn't we
well,
watch
I don't want to be out
I feel
and
like
get
I
hit by
remember
a
you
car.
guys
so
having your
whatever.
friends over and watching
Oh,
Mean
I
Girls.
remember that.
Yeah,
That
we
was
did that.
fun.
That
I
was kinda
joined
fun.
You guys outside.
And
at
we'd bring
midnight.
pots and pans.
I had a
So
beaded headband over my hair.
a stretchy beaded headband.
Oh.
I remember
I
that.
feel like that's cute.
But the thing that made New Year's fun finally in 2009. Well, it was really 2010 that it actually happened.
Wait,
was
was it which year going into which year?
2009 going into
2010
2000.
going to
Oh, yeah.
11.
Ooh.
Was that Nick's birthday is New Year's Day, so it's changed all of New Year's from then on to his like birthday celebration. So now we always do some kind of thing that's somewhat fun in some way for his birthday. So I really enjoy that actually a lot more than whatever the heck else I was gonna do. But I don't really have one that stands out as the most fun
Yeah.
that I can think of. I can't even think of a worst one. Like, what's the worst one? I mean, I don't have anything that dramatic, but I guess it would be one of the birthday ones. But
Didn't you sing AC/DC one night at a karaoke bar?
I
or
would not
something?
call that the best one.
No, I'm just saying that you were out.
No, yeah, for a few years in a row, we went to Sacramento. Actually, was it like 6 years in a row? Went
It
to
was
Sacramento
like
every time.
2010 until 2014.
And I was never allowed to.
We went to Sacramento, where Nick and I are from. Well, and them too, you know.
Yeah, just Nick and you.
I could go out because my parents were 400 miles away.
Oh yeah.
Never
Break the
let your
rule.
children
And
leave for New
and then
Year's.
they went. Nick and his friends were celebrating his birthday, and me too. Yeah, whatever. But so we went somewhere that was really close to his house, his parents' house where we were staying. So it was like 5 minutes away. So that's how I was in my mind, like, okay, I guess we could drive tonight. And we went to like some like restaurant bar situation, whatever. It wasn't like crazy. And then they had like live music, and then somehow I ended up singing an AC/DC song. I don't know why.
Was Michael there? Or did I
No,
mention that?
it was just me singing that. So basically, I don't know, just a bunch of random New Year's. I don't really know. I don't really think
Yeah, I feel like it's just not stellar.
one really stands out. But I don't know. You just have to think of what is actually like considered fun to you, which I've been thinking about a lot. When I did learn that I do not like being in crowds of people who are drinking,
you go.
that scares the crap out of me, because I have been in there where dangerous, terrifying things did happen, and I did not enjoy it, where I'm driving people to the emergency room at 3 a.m. And
Not
that is
fun.
traumatic. So I personally am traumatized and don't like that. So I'm like, what am I going to do this year? I don't know. Just something low key. Oh, I think probably the year that I threw Nick a surprise birthday party. Was it on New Year's Eve? Yeah, on New Year's Eve. That was the best one, I would say. It was like low key, and we had fireworks. Alex did fireworks at the parents' house.
Oh, I love that.
Here?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
maybe you weren't there.
I wasn't.
It was really fun.
Wow.
So, guys, we're going to now talk about our like 2021 in review, which is
Oh my.
our highlights, our lowlights, the ups and the downs, what's the other thing
highs
it's
and
called?
lows.
What's the other thing? you
Peaks
said?
and valleys.
Peaks and
The his and the laws. It's not the neediest to greediest. That's a different thing. If you guys remember the first season.
You win.
So we're going to say our worst and our best moments of 2021. Now, how should we do this? Should we each say the worst, each say the best?
Oh gosh.
Or should we...
Are we picking one for each, or was that like?
No. Like, just throughout the year. Oh.
Should we just go from the beginning of the year?
Or does one person just say all the worst and then all the best?
No. We should probably be in like worst and then best. We didn't plan this before.
Yeah, guys, we tried to not plan things out too much so that it'd be more authentic, which I
Yeah.
think is working really well, and be like more conversational,
Yeah.
which I'm very happy with how it is turning out.
How about we just do worse, and then if it's bad, then we'll stop.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
We just start with worse, and then if
So-
like, oh, this is bad, then we'll be like, okay, everyone go one by one.
What were your top few or several worst moments of the year? Oh, this sucks.
I don't know.
Okay. First of all, just a few short weeks ago, I had the dreaded COVID-19, the wind of God. The wind of God. Sorry, it's like a meme song. It's like, I'll blow the wind of God and get rid of COVID. Some crazy. It's gone. I don't know. Apparently he
wind
blew
of
the wind of God. Okay, anyways. I had the dreaded COVID-19. Actually, it was a month ago now. It was over a month ago. Oh, that was September. That was not a few weeks ago.
That was a while ago.
Time
Okay,
flies.
a while ago.
It was, the first week was great because I got to lay in bed and watch TV and I was like, oh yes, I don't have to do anything.
Oh, yes.
But then, you know, having a little baby and my husband was on tour. So it was like, I have to be alone and take care of this baby. And I obviously was not going to have anyone come over and help me because I'm not trying to contaminate anyone. So had to be completely alone except for my baby. So that was a lot. And it lasted for like 10 days. And then I finally turned a corner and started to feel better. But then I had this lasting dizziness where I like couldn't walk in a straight line, couldn't drive, couldn't go anywhere. So even when my symptoms went away and I was starting to feel better, I like couldn't go anywhere. So I was trapped in my house for longer than 2 weeks because I was like, I even tried to go on a walk one day and I was like, oh my gosh. Ugh. To this day, 2 months later now, if I get too hungry and I haven't eaten in like 3 hours or something, and I'm like walking, I'm like, ooh, slight swaying. I still get dizziness. So that was the absolute worst part of the year. Actually, like mentally was the hardest part of being trapped and isolated and not being able to like see anyone for so long and having all the responsibility of taking care of a baby when you're just so tired. Oh my gosh. That was rough.
That's horrifying.
Really turned a corner coming out of that. I was like, it's over. Like if you like if a really bad storm happened and you like you couldn't believe it would ever stop like raining and tornadoing, and then you like look outside and you're like, oh my gosh, it finally stopped. I was like truly shipwrecked. So that was the worst part for me.
Okay. I can think of a few lows. Anyone else want
Care to
first?
share?
Go. Okay. So I can pretty easily think of the lows, which was the low. Okay. It's a tie for the lowest of the low between March and the first 2 weeks of the year. I'm not sure which one was lower. Probably March. So the first 2 weeks of the year was before I got Barrett in a good sleep situation. And I was at the end of 5 months of waking up every 2 hours, 3 at the most, and 45 minutes at the least. I think the smallest amount he did was like 30 something minutes. But in the beginning of January, it was that was the time where he had been waking up for 2 months straight every it was normally hour and a half or 45 minutes for 2 months straight. And at that point, I reached a new level of sleep deprivation that I'd never hit before. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm dying. I think I'm going to die. I wasn't going to die, but I was at such a low and it was so difficult. I was like, how am I going to make it through this? How am I going to survive? And it was like, I had so much anxiety at that point. My like insomnia, anxiety, whatever. I think insomnia does have to do with anxiety,
I had that even
right?
the other day. Yeah. Where you're like, I can't sleep. And then you're like, lack of sleep makes you more anxious. And you're like,
yeah, every like 45 or hour and a half, and he was waking up, I would wake up with anxiety. Yep. Like that. Because he would wake up screaming. And I was like, So it was not restful at all every night. And then every day at 7, I'd be like, I have to get out of bed, but I had nothing to get me out of bed. So I would try to peel myself off the bed and just be like, will I ever live again? So that was very difficult. Luckily, I did get out of that low. March was another kind of low where his sleep was a lot better, but he's had ups and downs with his sleep now. It's like really amazing, like so amazing. But we had a lot of ups and downs in there as I was like learning things, adjusting, and it was better, but there were still moments. Here's the problem. I was still waking up all the time because I was so anxious, and every time he would cry, I would wake up like, so if he was like sleeping and he'd just be like, and then just go back to sleep, I'd be like, and then I'd just be anxious for like the rest of the night. So it just was so triggering and annoying. So in March, I don't really know what all like led to everything, but that was like my big like mental breakdown or whatever, dark moment of the year or of my life, I would say. 31 years of my life, or 30 years at that point. So that was the worst moment of the year because it was probably the darkest moment of 30 years on this earth. But I reached like a mental health low, but then I got out of it. Praise the Lord.
That's why sleep deprivation is a form of torture.
Oh my gosh, it was so
Literally.
horrifying. So yeah, it was like a mixture of a lot of things. It was like having a new baby. I think he was like 7 or 8 months at that point, and having a new baby just has all these things that comes with it. Besides the physical challenges, there's also a lot of like mental and emotional challenges, because every like new age things he would do would like trigger me and like remind me of like my childhood or like something I was working through emotionally, and it would just like trigger things in me. So I had all these things to work through, and then also Nick as well. And then you put us together and we're both depleted. We're both trying to work through things together. It's opened up so many wounds, but in a good way, because I am grateful that I was able to become aware of the wounds and have the opportunity to heal them. I'm not saying it was easy at all or is easy at all, but that's what was happening basically. I was just triggered all the time. Well, still am. Triggered all the time and trying to work through all these things. Now it's like Nick and I have like a summit every weekend, and we're like, okay, when we're working through this miscommunication, how do we do this? And we're like figuring out all this amazing stuff on how to like unearth things and actually resolve them, not just have the same argument over and over and over and over and over for years and years and years. It's really amazing, but that it really is because of Barrett, because he's unearthing all these things that were just like lying dormant. So that was a low. Then another low and high, not a high, a low but also not low, is when Kath and Lise, both of them, had their different maternity leaves. That was a low for me, but it was also really good at the same time. So it was a low because it was like terrifying trying to figure out how to adapt. And I was like, oh no, are all of our fans gonna leave?
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, they're not gonna like trust us. They're not gonna want to stay, especially when they say 2 girls gone. So I was flipping out, freaking out. I'm like, how are we gonna do their jobs? And it was such like a crisis in my mind for me. But then it was a blessing because we all gained more of an appreciation for both of them, and we all like worked on new skills and learned a lot more and got a lot more resilient. So it was a
Adaptable?
curse turned blessing, or as Lisa would say, a low turned high. I wouldn't call it high still, but it was like that.
A low turned lesson.
It was just very necessary. It was this was the year, my 30th year until 31 was the absolute year of growth for me.
No, your 31st year. Once you turn 30, you're already 30.
Yes,
so
my 31st year was the biggest year of growth in my entire life. It was the amount of growth I had to do was absolutely insane.
She-Hulk.
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. Praise the Lord that it's over. But those were the hardest moments of the year, and definitely the hardest, or tied with my previous year. Those 2 years.
very hard.
So freaking hard. But I made it through to
see
see another day.
Proud
So
of you.
those are my lows. Very deep, very dark.
Do you feel like we should do a
Yeah.
high now? Maybe.
Should we just go through all the lows first?
Well, it just feels like I feel like we should do every other one maybe.
What?
Like we go like 2 lows and then 2 highs and then 2 lows and 2 highs.
We can do that.
Yeah.
But then they'll be doing high and low right in a row.
Or we could.
Can I just do my low?
All right,
I
fine.
didn't think of my high yet.
All right, fine. Amy, would you like to do a high?
I don't know.
I just feel like okay.
I don't know.
No, I feel like we're in the low mode.
All right.
We'll
We're
just
getting
go
like
with
deep,
it.
and then we're gonna like really.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so my really almost the whole year was a low, TBH, because I feel like this year was my delayed trauma response to last year being so horrific. Like, thinking back to like quarantine and all of that, like, yeah, it was stressful, it was scary, blah blah blah, but I was still kind of like
It's kind of felt like a
vibrant. Yeah, I don't know, because there was
denial?
kind of like I was still vibrant. I don't know. It wasn't like it was hard and scary, but it wasn't like as bad as this year, where I feel like I'm just so exhausted from all of the fight or flight that I was in last year.
Yes.
Like, I feel like
Yes.
this year I just didn't really do that much. Like, I spent so much time at home, more time home this year than I did last year. Like, just like every weekend, just like trying to recover and like just, I don't know, just so like exhausted. Like, I didn't really put out any of my like solo music. I guess in the beginning of the year I did, but not really. Like, I had all these plans and things I wanted to do, and I just didn't do them because I was just so like
Depleted.
exhausted. And like, also I think definitely what you said about them two leaving on maternity leave was definitely a low. It was so much like pressure on, I mean, all of us, but
we never
talking about me,
experienced it before. We didn't know what would happen.
Yeah, it was just
was a
like,
big
oh,
unknown.
whatever. But then it was like, whoa, wait, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh, wait, we have to do this. And then it's like, all of us, like us three, kind of like trying to make up all of the brain power for like 5 of us. We're just like, they're dropping like flies. And I was like, what if they never come back? I don't know. So I'm like, what if you have a baby and then you realize the baby's all that matters. I don't want to do anything else. And I was like, oh no, I mean, they'll be well within her rights, but it was sad. So,
Us three were just doing that the whole time. We're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. We were just panicking so much.
Yeah. So probably my worst low though, oh my gosh, was the 2 months of, I think it was August and September, where
Don't say 'em.
we were just like really busy, and I think they were both gone at that time, and I could not sleep anymore. So it was the sleep deprivation curse, where I was waking up at like 5 or 6 almost every morning with like panic anxiety, like every
Such a bad
single
feeling.
morning. So it's like,
That's been
not
my
only
life.
was I not sleeping, I was like completely depleting myself before like 7 a.m. just from
Yes.
having like a panic attack, basically.
Yes.
So I was just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything. Like, I have all this work to do, and how am I supposed to do it when I'm not sleeping and I'm having anxiety every morning? Like, I cannot do this. So it was just like every day I was just dreading it.
Yep.
Because, and yeah, you guys know how this feels having kids
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say,
It's
it
just
sounds
like,
like
how am I
parent.
supposed to do this? Like, I don't have the energy
Yeah,
or
I
the
feel
tools.
that.
Like, I cannot do it.
Literally.
So
Sounds like you just had a baby.
It
kid. I
does.
don't have the energy or the tools.
It does.
Literally.
Wow. Have you ever tried taking melatonin?
No, I'm scared to take something to sleep because I don't want to like rely on a sleep thing. I don't know.
Well, just to diverge really quickly, I had a recent episode of that where I like could not sleep and it was making me more anxious and I couldn't sleep even more. And even sometimes I would take it because I could sleep until like 10 and I have to start my day. So I even took it at like 4 in the morning sometimes just to get back to sleep, and then it would keep me sleeping. Even when Lily would wake up, I would go right back to sleep after I took care of her. And it doesn't make it so you can't like do anything if you wake up too soon, but it will help you go back to sleep. Just good to have. And then I was able to get off it because I got sleep. I didn't need it anymore. I just used it for like 5 days. Just a thought.
Well,
Talk to your doctor before you take any supplements.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was probably my lows. I mean, there was other random lows, but I would say that was the big one because it was 2 months of terror
Yeah.
in my own home, my own
That's
house.
That was literally my life.
Yeah.
That's
Sucks.
scary. You know, but I was thinking about, I was really thinking about you during this time because Christina always gave us all these speeches during her sleep deprivation. She was like, guys, I learned that just because you're tired, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad day. Just you don't have energy, it doesn't mean the day is going to be bad. And I was like, okay, just because I'm tired doesn't mean I'm gonna have a bad day. Just because I don't have energy doesn't mean the day is going to be bad. And how she was like, is it still your lock screen? Yes. On her lock screen is, I am he who will sustain you. And she would say that about her sleep deprivation.
so
So I was
nice.
like, okay, the Lord will give me what I need to survive this day. And I could just think of you. So thank you for that.
Wow, the gift that keeps on giving. My sleep
It really
deprivation.
does.
Yeah.
I think about it sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? If these people can have their children while they don't sleep, I can do this somehow. I can do it.
The human
Oh,
body is capable of
gosh.
so much.
Yes, it really is.
What are
All
your
right, your
lows?
turn.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so anxious right now. I feel like I'm gonna die. Okay.
It's okay.
I know. I don't really like revisiting the lows, but
Yeah, I don't either.
sometimes
I know
you
why
just
I cry. I don't know.
sometimes you
It's
gotta
okay to
express.
cry.
Anyway. I don't know. I'm just so anxious.
It's okay.
it's
Hey,
okay.
Just let it out. Let it out.
do what you need to do.
I don't know. I feel like there's not like me trying to like look upwards, so I'm not like the
Hey,
black swan.
all good.
Anyway, I feel like it's not so much like specific things like that happened. It's more like overarching themes of just like really horrifying anxiety and depression and like being like, I'm gonna die. Like I can't sustain living in this condition of like constant mental terror. It's just not right and it's not gonna work. And this is when I was like in between therapists for like a year, which was like horrifyingly bad timing for that. Really bad. And like I just like, there's been so many times where I like try to like, I don't know, where I'm like gonna die all the time, but then I'm like, it's gonna be fine. And then like I got into therapy again because Lauren was like, I am begging you, please find someone. And then I outsourced it to Kath and she Googled for me, found me someone good. And then I also outsourced the message to like send. I was like, Kath, what do I say? How do I do this? And then, so that was really horrifying. That would, I guess, be the low for me in general, just like really bad anxiety and like terror. Like, it's not like all these horrible things happen that I can like name. Nothing, and I'm thinking about it. It's like nothing that like from the hyper like zoomed out perspective, nothing that horrible happened. Like I'm not like, yeah, like there was not some huge tragedy to me or like all these like things that people look at me like, oh, that's really hard, or like, oh, that's a really trouble thing to happen. It's more just like
it's a series
my
of
mental
smaller
state
things
and
that
like,
make you feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I live in a world that's completely unsafe.
Yeah.
Which is actually true.
Yeah, and like the freaking just the horror, like the anxiety from the pandemic that it still haunts me to this minute. It's like all the time just so horribly unstable, and I like hated that because I hate feeling unstable, and obviously nobody loves it. But so I would say it's more just that of just like I feel like I'm gonna die all the time.
It like heightened everything, and it turned like things you could normally rely on to things that you absolutely could not rely on, which just kind of pushes things over the edge.
I felt like everything I ever like trusted in was just like taken from me.
Yeah, it's like, what can I trust?
Well, and even that thought of like I'm gonna die all the time, like we were feeling that during the pandemic of like I could die, like
it really was a real thing. I mean, it's a real thing.
It is
to think about all the time.
And to be told all the time too. It's just like really hard.
Constantly.
And so it just would come up in all this like horrible like codependent thinking and just not fun.
The year of waking up to codependency.
It's just been very difficult,
me, that's what it was.
I would say, and like overextending myself and just burning myself out every 2 weeks.
Oh, it's weird. We all did like the same things this year. But I guess it's probably more common than you would think with the panorama.
Yeah, I just can't deal with it. So, yeah, that's really low.
Well, now that we've gone deep into the depths of our misery,
I hate misery.
Let's go into the heights of our
highs.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something more
I want
poetic.
something good to happen, okay?
I don't know.
All right, you want to start with the highs?
Why do I have to start? Let's see.
Let me guess.
You had all this time to
Lily
think.
was born.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the obvious first thing that comes to mind. Her birth was a wild ride, but surprisingly, actually, the 3 days in the hospital after my cesarean were actually some of the best days of the year. It was amazing.
Gosh, I cannot relate.
It was amazing.
That's
and
awesome.
I cried a lot. I was very stressed. There was like, it was very like rapid cycling of like, I'm trying to snap her pants on. I don't know how this go. This is the hardest thing ever. And like Chad freaking out, me freaking out. Call the nurse. We need help. But then it was like, oh my gosh, she's such an angel. And like loving her so much. Like even though they were so crazy, it was like the highs of those days were the absolute highest highs of my life.
Yes.
Of my life. Just like, I mean, okay, I was induced on a Friday, Friday morning, didn't give birth until Saturday evening, and then went to the recovery room, blah, 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 and then got back to our actual like room where you stay when you're all like cleared to chill, where you sleep and stuff.
Cleared to chill.
Yeah. And I held her. I was like, oh, Chad, go to sleep. I got the baby. I was on so many like pain meds and stuff. I stayed up until 5 a.m, so I hadn't slept
exactly
in
what
like 2
I
days.
did.
And I just held her. The time I got her in my arms at midnight or 1 till 5 a.m. Absolutely flew by.
Just
I
like,
blinked,
how is this
and it was
real?
5 o'clock. I was like,
wow.
The most insane.
I've never felt like that.
unreal.
Oh my gosh. Never felt 4 hours pass that quickly of just this child sleeping on me. Oh my
gosh. That's when I realized I love newborns. I just saw a picture of her as a newborn the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss her already.
Oh my.
Like, she's so cute, but I love,
That's
so
such a
cute now.
thing.
But even when she was kind of like I loved it. So
that is such a thing. There are like one of my not theories, things I notice, just things I notice is that women tend to be like really big newborn people or not really. I'm not really one. It's not like I hate them obviously, but I'm not like, oh, Barrett. They're the types who are like, don't grow up, don't get bigger. I'm like, yes, he's getting bigger. He's going to talk soon. But a lot of moms are like, no, please stop growing.
Yeah,
I want you
because
to be little and snuggle.
I'm excited for that stuff too, but it just, when she would just fall asleep on me.
Well, that's great to love the newborn time because it's such a hard time. So it's great to love that.
Yeah. Oh, so cute. That was obviously the high. And then the other high, I would say, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. We did our baby moon when I was like 27 weeks pregnant. So I was like almost in the third trimester, but it was still good. Like I was still, up and moving. I didn't realize I could still like walk a few miles. That changed quick. But I was like,
You
very
went at the perfect
active.
time then.
Yes. I got right before I couldn't do that anymore. And we went to Anna Maria Island. It's a little island outside of Tampa. And there's like a bridge so you can just like drive to it. Please someone go there. Please
I
do
will
a trip
go
there.
Sounds
I think I follow these
Influencers who live
yes,
there.
they have an inn there, I think.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay, it is, I think, my favorite vacation destination now. Like, it's so pretty. It's so fun. That was like, I wasn't in the best mental state at that point. I realized I had stuff I needed to work through once I like got there and unplugged.
That's what always happens on vacations.
I know, but I still like realized it and I was able to relax. Oh, and it was like Easter weekend, which was really cool. And to like celebrate and be like, wow, God, your nature is so beautiful. Wow. It's just, it was really fun. And I still think about it all the time. Like I hear a song that was playing on that trip and I flash back to it. I'm like, I can't wait to go back. So those two moments, I guess they're both related to Lily, like her little pre-celebration and then her arrival.
I feel like I can't remember so much that I feel like I'm going to forget something like obvious because it was just such a year of sleep deprivation because I was still learning how to sleep again.
Sleep deprivation steals your memories.
So I'm like, am I going to forget something? It's like, hello, you forgot that obvious thing. But okay, this is what I can think of. So number one is the moments where Barrett had big milestones, like starting to dance and starting to start to
that
talk.
was a high for me.
That was high for me.
Oh
It's a
my
high
gosh.
for everyone.
I
Let's
can't
be real.
explain how
I
much
missed
of
a
high it
lot.
was.
Being on maternity leave, he started walking, dancing, all that stuff. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
you?
So Lisa talking about the moment of like, I can't believe how much I love this child. I didn't really have that until months later because I had such a horrific birth experience with all the blood loss and everything that happened. I was in such a bad place and such horrific postpartum depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So I actually had that this year. When he was several months old, I started to be like, actually started to bond a lot more. It took several months for me to get there. And I was like, I finally feel the way everyone always talks about their newborns. That was a huge
Better
high.
late than never.
Definitely.
Better late than
that
never.
was such a high. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. All the different milestones were just like crazy. Just seeing Barrett like communicate more and be able to like
waving.
hug and wave and
So funny.
talkish and walk and dance. Oh my gosh, just insane. Like such highs.
Trying new foods?
Yeah.
Are
That
you
was
kidding
really
me?
fun.
Him eating a mango?
And him starting to actually want to sit on the couch with me and just be like, that was, oh my gosh, so amazing.
When he sees a car.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So those were like big highs of the year. I put these in a couple categories. And then my personal journey of coming out of the dark depths of my rock bottom and really coming out and starting to grow, which I'm thinking of like moments that stand out. And I'm thinking of, I don't know what month it was when Kesha Stronger came out. And I started listening to that song. And
That was a while ago.
it's what's the main line?
No, we don't break when it's stronger.
No,
That one?
before that. What's the main line of the chorus?
You gotta wait. Wait. I don't know.
Wait, I need to read it.
You
Why is it so hard to remember?
You gotta take it day by day. Keep pushing through it because there ain't no other way. And when the thieves come to steal your faith, keep pushing through them because there ain't no other way. If you want to get stronger.
Oh,
That's it.
That's
it.
Poetic nature.
She's not like,
of
oh,
this.
everything will be perfect. She's just like, you have to keep pushing through if you want to get stronger. That song came out at a perfect time, and I started like going on walks, and because it took me a long time to recover from such
Major surgery.
Emergency.
and major blood loss. It took a lot for me.
It does take a while.
And I could barely. I started with 3-minute walks where I have to set the timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then turn around and come back. So anyway, I started going on longer walks this year, and that song came out, and I just have memory of me going up a hill and being like, oh my gosh, I'm on a walk that's 30 minutes long. I'm listening to that song, and I was like, I'm getting stronger physically, mentally, emotionally, blah, blah, blah.
I love that.
And I was like, my own like montage in a movie of like recovering.
Your Rocky montage.
It really was of just going on a walk for
To
30
that
minutes. It was a big
song.
deal
That's
to me.
a great
So
montage.
my journey from the depths of misery out and despair was an amazing journey that I'm still in, but really came out of it. Really excited about that. And then my two other highs were, one, what I mentioned before, Nick's and my like conference that we have basically every weekend about our communication styles and our childhood trauma and our wounds and our attachment issues.
Love it.
And like actually resolving like lifelong things and like arguments that we've had in cycles for 10 years. That
Wow.
is
You put the salt away.
incredible.
You put the salt away.
Well, we don't exactly do that. But that's a good, actually, in like representation of what happens with a lot of couples, how it manifests. Ours manifests in a different way, but same idea. That was incredible. And now, here's my other. This might sound random, but this was a huge high. This is my last one I'll say, which was Happier Than Ever, our Billie Eilish song cover. When I did the harmonies, it was a high of the entire year because
Welcome.
I had been locked away. I had been locked away for years and just been like, oh, at least just do the harmonies. I'm not gonna do
Lisa
harmonies
locked
anymore.
you in the closet.
No, I locked myself. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. And then Lisa was gone. This is another reason why it was a curse and a blessing. A blessing and a curse. Because I was forced to do the harmonies. Because Lauren's like, I'm too tired for that. She's like,
I
okay.
was busy.
Doing a
So
lot.
I did all the harmonies, basically, not all of them, most of them, for that song. And I was like, sitting there like recording like a wild woman, and I was just like loving every second of it. And then I like recorded a video on my phone of the harmonies a cappella and sent it to the girls, and then I sat there like watching it and listening to it for like an hour because I was like, oh my gosh, it unlocked and unleashed my former
Creativity.
self,
for you.
arranger from childhood, and I was like back. I felt like I came back. I feel like the old me was back and better than ever. That's how I feel for this year. I feel like all this trauma and all these challenges have like unlocked, and motherhood really has done this, unlocked all these parts of me that were like locked away and repressed, and now they're like coming back out and more vibrant than before, and I'm loving it. So that was a huge high for me. I had so much fun doing that. I'm obsessed with the arrangement. I love it so much. I had so much fun. So that was like the best moment.
Wow, we loved
It was
it.
amazing.
Okay. I can't really think of that many highs, but I will say that when we did our writing camp, that was so
That was
fun
such a
for me.
moment.
Doing our writing camp and then
we had dinner. That was
working on like originals, like doing the New You're Worth It thing and
That
another
was so fun.
one. It was just like so fun
And then
doing like
another one.
original music again and like making music videos and doing all that. Like I really love that. It just like unleashed me again, you know?
I feel
Made me
the same.
really happy. And then I feel like the only other like highs that really stand out to me is like some like spiritual experiences that I had. Like my brother Christian started getting me into praying the rosary 3 times a day, which sounds kind of crazy, and I thought that was crazy. I was like, I can not even do this once a day, like how many do this 3 times? But he sent me this podcast. This guy really persuaded me to do it, And doing that, like, changed my whole life in, like, such, like, a subtle yet very obvious way. And, like, it just made everything, like, a little bit easier when I was, like, having such a hard time with things. And, like, this specific moment when I was, like, really, I guess, at, like, a rock bottom time. And, like, with the rosary, there's, like, different, like, mysteries that go with it. So it's basically, like, different kind of, like, stories from the Bible kind of that you think about while you pray it. So I was praying the one about the crucifixion and about, like, the agony in the garden before he was turned over to the police, and then, like, having to carry the cross at the mountain and, like, being crucified, like, focus on each of those points. And I was, like, outside and, like, looking at the stars and, like, just crying on my knees, like,
Whoa. Let it out. Let it out.
I already cried, so.
It's a
Let
teary
it out.
episode.
What?
because
Sympathy tears.
I just felt like in that moment, like, reflecting on, like, all that pain that he went through, and, like, feeling like, I mean, obviously I wasn't being crucified, but, like, I felt like I was being, like, so, like, mentally tortured and, like, having such a hard time. And I just really felt like in that moment, like, he was telling me, like, hey, it's okay, like, I've been through this too, like, I know what it's like to be in pain and, like, have hard times. And even though it was, like, such a hard time, like, it was such a high for me to feel, like, so connected and, like, understood. And in that moment, I just felt like I'm gonna be okay and I can do this, and he is with me. So there's, like, a moment like that, and then another moment I had, like, randomly at church. Like, you know, every week I go, like, a communion, and I'm, like, you know, there, but I'm not always, like, so into it. But I don't know what happened this one week, just, like, going to communion and getting, like, the Eucharist. I don't know what happened, but I felt like I actually, like, understood, like, the real meaning of it in that moment. And I can't even really explain it. It's just, like, an understanding that I had. And it just, like, I just was on such, like, a spiritual high after that, just, like, having a deeper understanding of my faith. And again, that was in, like, a hard time and feeling like I'm gonna be okay. So I just had a lot of moments of really, like, coming to God that were really, like, the highs for me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a good kind of high.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Some might say the best.
You're such a rat. What about you?
Let's think. I went through the same kind of experience because I started doing the rosary when you did, because I was like, well, if Lauren's doing it, then I should do it too.
Wear army pants and
Obviously.
flip-flops.
Yeah, I wear army pants and flip-flops because she did. Okay. And I had the complete opposite reaction when I listened to the podcast first. I was like, I can't do this. It's too hard. He's bullying. I was like, you're not bullying? And I was like,
He's bullying me.
I was bullying myself. He wasn't bullying me. He was pretty cool, actually. I don't remember who he was, but the podcast person. So that really did change me too. And I remember all these points of, like, feeling so, like it just, I think I've been mentally so zoomed in on myself and so, like,
Yeah.
so, like, in my own head because of all the stuff that I've been going through. And focusing on that really, like, changed me as a person. And also I did a Bible study on the Mass. I guess it's a book study because it was like we were studying the Mass, and it was absolutely incredible. And that, like, study, like, gave me such a literal high because I understood for the first time fully what I had been participating in my entire life, not knowing exactly what was going on, but, like, I understood it in the most, like, beautiful way that I never knew, and I felt so, like, connected, and it was so amazing to, like, feel that way and to make these connections and to be like, wow, this is what I've been missing my whole life. And so that was really beautiful. And then another high was the summer because I was like, win or lose, I'm going to go out with a bang this summer. Like, I'm going to try
going
this
out with a
summer.
bang?
Because I never
Like,
had
go
good
out of
summers.
summer with a bang.
I made a plan. I was like, I'm going to do
Sounds so
whatever
like,
I
terminal.
gotta do to have a good summer. Let's go. So what I did was I went outside every second that I could.
For
The
you.
other night, I went on a bike ride at like 10 p.m.
Wow.
It was so fun. And I was like
love this.
out there. I was walking, bus, club, another club. Just kidding. There's pool, book, another book.
Oh, wow.
Pool, book.
I feel
All
like that's
did
the life you were meant to
was
live.
read
Yeah.
at the pool, and it was the most incredible time.
We love
And
it.
then the other high was I was seeing this guy for a little bit, and that was a high because he was great, and it was great. It was so much fun, and
A little
it
adventure.
ended well, actually. And I was like, wow, how does this happen? Even though we're not a thing and we don't speak, but like, it was great. And it was definitely a high year. I was like, wow, this is what
Wow.
it's meant to be.
We
So, I
love
love
to
it.
hear that.
It was
Good
really
for
nice.
you. Getting what she
literally, like,
deserves.
I'm like, wow, what a person. Even though I don't, like, I don't speak to him, haven't spoken to him in a while, but I'm like, good for you. You keep doing you.
Wow.
Great guy.
Good.
Great guy.
I'm really happy to hear that, Ames.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa. I actually had a good, whoa. And it actually added to my
That
life
is
instead
what-
of ruining it.
That is what I'm saying about New Year's, Amy.
Exactly.
Apply your summer philosophy to New Year's.
I'm gonna do
Just
it.
be like, I'm just gonna have fun.
I'm
Whatever
gonna do
you
it.
want to do, even if it is like, you know what? I want to sit alone in my house and watch 17 again and make one s'more on the stove. If that is your
Right, I love
ultimate
that.
heart's desire, just do it. Whatever it is, just be like, what sounds good to me, and just do it. And then you will have finally a good New Year's.
You're so right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
All right, that's our highs and lows. So we only have one thing left, which is Sister Spotlight.
Oh my.
And who could it be this
I
week?
have
Yeah, I
no
feel like you
clue.
gave it away when you
Who could it be
looked
this
right
week?
at me.
Oh.
Oh.
It's me, Mario. Okay.
Mario.
It's Lisa's
It's
corner.
Lisa's Corner, which usually is exposing Lisa's weird past, I feel. But, I mean, this isn't my weird past. Well, this is my past, and it's weird, but it's not, you know,
What?
childhood. Let's just
I'm
say
intrigued.
Let's just say it's, I don't know, Lisa's story time. I was trying to think of some, like, alliteration. I couldn't do it. So,
Lisa.
okay.
I got nothing.
I'm going to tell the story of the time. I thought of this literally in the car on the way here. The story of the time a guy, not going to call him a man, almost pretended to throw me off a bridge.
What?
Let's tell
God.
the
What
story.
on earth?
Are you kidding?
Yes,
Wait, that
I'm
is
not kidding. Well,
horrifying.
yeah, so we met at
my
a party.
gosh,
A little,
this is so
listen, we met at a party, like a chill party. It was just, I don't know, like 40 people. And
40 people.
yeah. It was not like boom, boom, boom. Like there you can talk. Everyone's sitting and mingling. It's chill.
Got it.
But there's like a good amount of people there. And I remember I was wearing like this camo like men's jacket from Walmart.
remembers what she was
and
wearing.
my hat, and I had really short hair. So he was like, have we met? He's like, I just have to say your hair is amazing, because I was like really short. I was like, thank you, because I had no hair. So I was like, wow, cool. Sat down and we talked until like 3 a.m. Like just immediately, like great connection, whatever. And I was like, wow, he's really a lot deeper than the guys that I've talked to. Like,
Oh my god.
really wanted to go there. Like, what do you want to do with your life? Ask me all these like not overly personal but very meaningful questions. I really enjoyed our conversation.
There was no bridge throwing red flags.
No, it was great. It was good. Because this man has two sides. I mean, most people
I can't.
have multiple sides. So I saw the really good side first. It was not fake. It was real. We hung out. We only hung out like, I don't know. I can't remember. Like 5 to 7 times. I want to say. It wasn't like constantly. Like it ended. But and so I think that day that we met, he was like, or when I don't know, he got my number and was like, I'd like to take you on a date. Like, how's this Thursday? I was like, wow. Again, never had a guy like pick a day and say, can we go out? I was like, sure. yes, we can. And I think I was even leaving for LA in the morning. Like we were all going to Sacramento or something. But I was like, sure, whatever. So we went out. He is one of the rare people that was born and raised in Nashville. So like knows all the places and was like, oh, I'm going to show you the town. And was this that first time that we hung out, or was it another time? I think it was like the first or second time we hung out. So
oh my gosh.
Takes me to dinner, whatever. It's like, oh, fun, cool. And then is like, oh, I want to show you this cool like lookout spot. I'm like, could be a killer, but for some reason I feel okay, so we'll go.
Oh my god.
I normally wouldn't. I'm a very paranoid person, but I was like, you know what? I feel fine. Let's go.
Could be a
and it
killer.
wasn't that far away. So we go, and it's this bridge, and there's no one, there's nothing, there's no lights. You all know the bridge I'm talking about.
That's scaring the crap
And
out
it's
of me.
nighttime. And I usually, yes, you do.
This is really
The
Where there's no
bridge.
lights?
Oh.
The bridge. Whatever. So we go there, and I'm like, oh gosh, I've never been here at night. There's no lights.
Yeah.
But you can see a lot of stars. It was really cool. So he's like, let's just like walk. And I was like, oh, I guess this is the thing people do. We like walked on the bridge. And then he's like, oh, I want to hug you or whatever. Literally like hugged me and like picked me up. You know, people like pick you up when they hug you. I was like, oh, that's cute. And then goes, ha, and jerked to the side. And I went, put me down right now. Put me down. And he was like, oh my gosh, okay. And I was like, you never, ever joke about throwing me off the bridge. He was like, whoa, it was just a joke. I was like, that is not funny. I literally yelled at this man, like yelled vigorously on our very first date. Spoiler alert.
Wait, how close were you?
How
we were
close are you
like
to the
5
edge?
feet from the edge.
Okay, but if this is
it
the
was
bridge,
not
I'm
funny.
thinking
Yes.
about there's not like this huge railing. It's like a short thing.
There was
like,
a large distance, but it was not funny.
Yeah, like
I
you
was
could
That's
easily
not really a
fall
funny
off.
joke
It's
in my
not
opinion.
Well, why
funny.
would you make that
It's like,
joke?
okay, if you're right next to a pool and you
That
go,
is not cute.
pretend to throw them in. Oh, it's a pool.
No,
This
Yeah.
is a
I hate that.
freaking bridge.
No,
and
this is
people
like
die on.
a huge
This is
bridge.
weird.
Yes,
like a
like,
really tall
really
bridge.
weird. So I was just like, and then he's like, okay. And then it's like, what do you want to do? I was like, oh, let's go back to the car. we kind of like, calmed down. There's a little bit of drive back, like, played some music, chill. But I was just like, he was like, okay, this girl is not to be played with. Spoiler alert, tried to play with my emotions after that. But
Oh my god.
I mean, the last time that we hung out was like 7 times after that. And it's funny because he had this great side. We'd have these great times. And then the bad side just came out at the end, actually. That was just a little peek. It was
The bridge
just
thrower?
very,
he gave you a peek right away.
very disrespectful. Like, I would be like, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like disrespected. And he's like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I didn't mean it that way. But I'm sorry you took it that way. It was the most like dismissive non-apology I've ever received.
No.
Much worse men have done much better. I was like, are you kidding me? The last time I ever hung out with him, I in my brain, I was like, in real life, I was like smiling, goodbye, talking, planning my exit, just acting completely normal. In my brain, I was like, I hate you. I will never talk to you again. When I get out this door, I am never, ever speaking to you again. I am so done. But, I don't want to like cause a ruckus or whatever. I was just like, goodbye. I drove home, blasted the most angry screamo I could find on my phone. I was like, and that was it. I was done. I'd already cut my hair at that point, but if I hadn't, I would have.
And
This
I would
man.
say that's good that you didn't like tell him off at the end, because like, okay, if someone's gonna pretend and throw you off a
Oh
bridge,
my
like
gosh.
you don't know if they would like snap
Really
if you
throw
were
you off a
like
bridge.
telling them off. Like, I don't know. So that's good that you did that.
And you know what? You know what is the
Thanks.
most ironic thing? This is the only man that I don't want to say dated, but hung out with, that wore a shirt that says feminist on it.
Okay.
No,
The
man.
only man that ever
Is
tried
that a red
so
flag?
hard to put it out there. I'm a feminist. I love throwing women off of bridges. Men and women are equal, so I'll throw a man off a bridge or a woman. The only man that ever made me feel so disrespected was like, I respect women. Cool. No, you don't. So,
Wow.
you're doing too much.
I feel like it's one of those things
Wow.
where, like, if you are a feminist or respect women, you don't need to
You
wear
don't
it
need
on
to
your
say
shirt.
it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You don't need to
Don't
say
wear
it.
it
You
on
need to
your shirt.
show it. You need to live it. You just need to do it. Just
Okay.
If someone's trying that hard to tell you, it's probably
It's
red
like
flag.
There's a reason.
that they're a good guy. I'm
a good guy.
I'm a nice guy.
I'm just
such
like a really nice guy, and I just don't know. No, they ain't not nice.
People tell you that they're nice and respectful by being nice and respectful.
This is a true thing.
So anyway, that's my corner. You have to get out of it now.
Wow.
We're done. But thank you.
Wild corner.
Wow.
That's so true. Like the nice people I know are like, oh, I'm not that good of a person.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you are.
That's so
okay.
weird.
You know who-
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
We can go on for too long. Okay, wow. Thanks for taking us on that ride,
Yeah, that was
Lisa
great.
and Lisa's Corner. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much, Patreon, for your support. You guys are amazing. Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll take a look-see. We love reading your feedback. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you then.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.